Look at little rodeo rider, they do ride so fast. That's a rough track you're traveling on. Hope you can make your ride last. Sweet as the apple blossom, bright as a clear blue bird. Them demons is hot on your trail. Oh, when you're trying to hide behind love. I am a fool, baby, who loves you. You can run as fast, as far as you can.
The roots of PCMA go back to October 1953, perhaps even earlier. Who knows what conversations were had in those early days, but it was in the fall of 1953 that the Texas Highway Department made the decision to advance Texas roadways with the use of pre-stressed concrete beams. The department had the idea to engage with contractors in the development and advancement of pre-stressed concrete beams. Beam Fabricators incorporated the Pre-Stressed Concrete Manufacturers Association in 1959. By the 1970s, product diversification into commercial markets prompted the members to realign the association by expanding its scope to include commercial fabricators to provide a resource and marketing group for the growing commercial markets. In 1985, the name was changed to Precast Concrete Manufacturers Association of Texas. In 2008, PCMA affiliated with the Precast Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute, PCI, and expanded to include Oklahoma and New Mexico, and now operates as Precast Concrete Manufacturers Association. Today, PCMA continues its traditional role as a conduit for information and innovation with the Texas Department of Transportation. New precast and pre-stressed concrete road and bridge products are continually under development, testing, or have moved to general usage. PCMA members are involved every step of the way. Furthermore, commercial precasters direct PCMA's engagement within the construction community, universities, and as a resource and education provider to building owners and designers. PCMA members have established an enviable portfolio of schools, stadiums, museums, hotels, hospitals, and of course the parking structures that support them. PCMA continues its long tradition of supporting institutions of higher learning with donations of concrete products, financial assistance, and access to hundreds of years of knowledge. Most recently, PCMA connected a member and Texas A&M University to research ultra-high-performance concrete. PCMA partnered with another member and Texas Tech University to test sandwich wall panel joints used in storm-resistant construction.
An important part of the PCMA are the membership meetings. Members gather to discuss industry issues, exchange ideas, and most importantly, develop and implement solutions. It was during one of those meetings in the fall of 2010 that the idea took hold among several members to host a sporting clay shoot to raise money for a charity. One member took the discussion to the PCMA's board of directors and proposed to have a sporting clay event to raise money for research for a cure of acid maltase deficiency, also known as Pompe disease.
So I do want to take the opportunity to thank PCMA for their efforts in fundraising to support the work that AMDA does for promoting research in Pompe disease. And we hope working together that we will make a difference in the lives of patients.
And what I applaud with all these meetings is the investment in people, their experiences, their exchanges, the fact that you guys, with all the money, help us join together to make life a better world, not just for us individually, but for the whole community.
Coming to this meeting means so much to me, to meet what is my extended family now of different people that have Pompe. And I can't express enough gratitude to those that support this meeting.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
PCMA is proud of our association with AMDA and the research we are supporting, but the overall benefits go even deeper. The Pull for Pompe is an industry gathering away from the usual issues and challenges members face. Pull for Pompe encourages relationships across a widening group of construction professionals.
PCMA Pull for Pompe allows members to spend a day with customers, suppliers, design professionals, and their families.
Pull for Pompe builds relationships. This strengthens the industry, this strengthens the community, and this strengthens PCMA.
Pull for Pompe is an opportunity to step out of industry and into community and provides a different perspective on all the issues we face and programs we provide.
PCMA Pull for Pompe is only possible because of the generosity of our sponsors and volunteers. We can thank them all at the next PCMA Pull for Pompe. Please join us at the PCMA Pull for Pompe.
For more information on Pull for Pompe, please visit the PCMA and AMDA online.
That was a great program, and I want to recognize Mr. Jorge Hinojosa for putting together the program that started several years ago. He's done an outstanding job, and I think we owe him some gratitude. Thank you, Jorge. Good afternoon. I'm Ruben Valadez. I'm the chair of the PCMA Marketing Committee. Welcome to the 2020, I'm way behind, 2020 Best in Precast Awards presentation, brought to you from the Statesman Ballroom here at the beautiful George Hotel in College Station, Texas. We are pleased to have some guests with us, some people in the audience, including some visitors from the Texas A&M School of Architecture. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Spending a few minutes with the architectural students leaves me hopeful for a bright future in construction and the engineering and the architecture that makes this possible. This afternoon, we're presenting awards that demonstrate structural versatility, architectural possibilities achievable by precast concrete. We have 14 awards this afternoon that cover energy efficiency, structural resiliency, and of course, aesthetic versatility. Presenting the awards this afternoon is PCMA Executive Director, Mr. Chris Lechner. Chris?
Thank you, Ruben. We have a lot to cover this afternoon, so let's go ahead and get started. First up this afternoon, we have two stadium projects. Our first one demonstrates the structural flexibility of precast concrete. To get started right away, here is our best stadium, structural.
The Austin Major League Soccer Stadium is an open-air field that includes seating for 20,500 guests in Austin, Texas. It features large metal truss overhangs, giving this stadium a modern and unique look. While the majority of the seating is supported by an elevated steel structure, structural precast members were used as well. Due to the owner's desire for a seamless look over vomitory walls, the precast design team engineered large blockouts in the risers. This required special lifting bars to be made to handle these specific pieces. In all, 554 pieces of structural precast were installed, the largest of which were tub girders spanning 40 feet and weighing over 50,000 pounds. Using precast as well as steel was a choice made to support a compressed project timeline. Steel erection, welding, and inspections took place during the day, while precast erection occurred at night. This allowed for the two different materials to be constructed using the same cranes. Sequencing the precast with the steel was a major challenge faced on this project. Once completed, the large steel canopies would have prevented crane access to the interior of the stadium. To avoid any delays or loss of access to construction zones, it was critical for the precast and steel teams to coordinate closely. The use of BIM 360 modeling allowed for any issues or conflicts to be easily found and addressed before they occurred, resulting in additional time and cost savings. Finding space for staging the precast was a constant battle throughout the duration of the project. Despite the scheduling and logistical hurdles, all of the precast was erected in just 3 short months. The added collaboration that was achieved through the use of BIM 360 was absolutely necessary in keeping the accelerated construction schedule. The success of this stadium can be contributed to the hard work and cooperation of many contractors, as well as the structural versatility and adaptive nature of precast concrete.
Austin Football Club, Major League Soccer Stadium, Austin, Texas. The precaster on that one is Heldenfels Enterprises out of San Marcos, Texas. Precast concrete engineer is Consulting Engineers Group out of San Antonio. The architect is Gensler Sports, Los Angeles, California. And the engineer of record is Walter P. Moore of Los Angeles, California. The general contractor on the project is Austin Commercial, Austin, Texas. The owner is the Austin Football Club, Austin, Texas. The PCI certified erector is S&S Erectors out of Kennedale, Texas. Congratulations to the winners. Our next winner explores the architectural versatility of precast concrete. The innovative approach to color and texture is highlighted in our best stadium.
The Globe Life Stadium is a new 41,000-seat ballpark in Arlington, Texas, and the home of the Texas Rangers baseball team. Taking into consideration the hot climate, a massive, rapidly retractable roof was combined with energy-efficient insulated precast walls to allow for air-conditioned comfort. The roof is supported by a steel frame with precast arches clad in brick. To help the project timetable, cast-in thin brick and hand-laid brick were both used throughout the ballpark. The precaster worked closely with the masonry company and other contractors to ensure the arches read as one cohesive architectural element. Along a different elevation, the use of precast simulates randomly sized monolithic stone blocks intended to break down the scale of the 45 to 60 foot tall facade, while also disguising the inevitable vertical joints between the precast panels. The varied finishes include polished, acid etched, and the experimental distressed finish. The irregular distressed finish provides random, organic veins and impressions, giving the appearance of natural stone, but at a fraction of the cost. The precaster was asked to vary the different spacing and finishes, making the panels appear consistently inconsistent. The highly successful aesthetic was accomplished through consciously avoiding any matching patterns within the repetitive array of panels. Many structural precast components for the stadium were provided by a second precast manufacturer. Collaboration between the two precasters, who are typically competitors, was absolutely essential to the project's success. This stadium highlights many excellent benefits of precast concrete, including energy efficiency and keeping to a tight construction schedule. However, possibly the most significant details are the unique and newly developed distressed finish and the architectural facade it is displayed upon. This feature is a prime example of the essentially limitless potential and versatility of precast concrete.
Best Stadium, Globe Life Field Stadium, home of the Texas Rangers, Arlington, Texas. Precast concrete by Enterprise Precast Concrete Incorporated out of Corsicana, Texas. The architect is HKS out of Dallas. The engineer of record is Walter P. Moore, Dallas. Texas Rangers, City of Arlington. Globe Life is the owner out of Arlington, Texas. The PCI certified erector is Precast Erectors out of Hurst, Texas. The general contractor was Manhattan Construction, Dallas, Texas. The structural precast manufacturer was Gate Precast Company, Hillsboro, Texas. Congratulations to our winners. Schools and precast concrete go together. Whether it's protecting students or providing an exceptional base, this is how precast builds. Our best school, educational building, K-12.
In 2018, a bond passed stating that schools in North Richland Hills, Texas would be adding storm shelters. The obvious choice of construction for the Smithfield Middle School storm shelter was precast concrete. This material choice allowed for minimal site disruption while the existing school was in use. Additionally, precast concrete accommodated the budget, reduced the construction schedule, and met the hardened structure requirements. The 70-piece precast structure took a total of 5 days to erect from start to finish, and became one of the largest storm shelters in North Texas. The school's original gym held 170 students, while the new gym addition has an impressive occupancy of 1,000. The vestibule, lobby, concessions, and bathroom areas of the structure were uniquely designed in that the roof deck consists of metal joists and beams. This required in that embeds were provided with proper tolerance for erection of both steel and precast. This same area also has a mid-height mezzanine, which made for a unique precast wall panel layout due to necessary beam locations and required openings. In this area, the lower panel is a specially designed traditional precast member with no pre-stressing due to the concession stand windows located on either side of a personnel door. The structure spans over 100 feet, requiring 103-foot 9-inch long, 80,000-pound double T's. One of the greatest challenges to overcome on this project was the shipment of these impressively sized pieces, which needed to pass through a residential neighborhood to make it to the site. In order to meet the structural requirements, the design team needed to consider a variety of heavy loads, including debris, downward wind pressure, and uplift loads. The combination of the load considerations, 12-inch thick wall panels, and 48-inch deep double T's makes this storm shelter capable of withstanding an F5 tornado. The owner, design team, construction manager, mechanical subcontractors, and precaster all collaborated to make this a successful project, finishing on time and on budget.
Best School Education Building K-12, Smithfield Middle School Gymnasium Addition, North Richland Hills, Texas. Precast Concrete by Core Slab Structures, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Architect was VLK Architects out of Fort Worth, Texas. The engineer of record was Dunaway Associates, Fort Worth, Texas. The owner is Birdsville ISD, Halton City, Texas. Precast Concrete Specialty Engineer was Core Slab Structures, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. And the general contractor was Key Construction, Texas, Fort Worth. Please congratulate our winners. Students of all ages benefit from precast concrete construction, as demonstrated by our best university building.
The College of Dentistry building for the Texas A&M University Health Science Center in Dallas, Texas, is a 9-story, 304,000 square foot health education facility. The building is clad in architectural precast, limestone, metal panels, and glass. There are 270 pieces of architectural precast on the building, providing over 31,000 square feet of cladding. The architectural precast consists of 2 different mixed designs, each of which are colored to complement the natural limestone veneer. The lower levels of the building consist of parking with architectural spandrels acting as the vehicular barriers. These barrier spandrels utilize multiple finishes as well as a ribbed texture in a seemingly random pattern to add vibrancy and variation to the facade. The upper levels consist of a more traditional uniform color and finish to complement the limestone features. Spandrels at each floor level are tied together with vertical filler panels, which are offset from one another at each level to further refine and scale the visual presence of the building. Due to a compact site with an adjacent building already in place, the only option was to erect the precast using a tower crane. This design challenge required close coordination and detailing to ensure panels were sized within the crane's capacity. allowing for efficient installation. Additionally, the panels were set overnight to allow the crane to be used for other trades during normal working hours. This structure has a beautiful, varying architectural facade, while also overcoming heavy site limitations. The design team was able to do this by utilizing the dynamic nature of precast concrete.
Best University Building, Texas A&M University College of Dentistry, Dallas, Texas. Structures, Texas, Cedar Park, Texas. Owner is TAMU Health Science Center, Facilities and Planning and Construction. Architect of record is Brown Reynolds Wetford Architects, Dallas. The engineer of record is JQ Infrastructure, Dallas, Texas. And the general contractor is Vaughn Construction, Irving, Texas. Please congratulate our winners. Precast concrete is ideal for parking structures, allowing the structural and the architectural to combine. From small structures to large, we begin with best parking up to 500 spaces.
The East Lookout Parking Garage is part of a campus expansion for the Lookout Plaza 1 in Richardson, Texas. After purchasing the property, the new owner gave the campus some renovations and upgrades. It was at that time the need for additional parking was realized. The newly constructed parking garage accommodates over 400 vehicles in the 2-bay wide, 5-level structure. This project includes just over 420 pieces of precast, 180 of which are the double T's that make up 121,000 square feet of suspended parking. The project team worked together for several months to develop a cost-effective precast parking structure to meet the needs of the owner and the City of Richardson's building standards. These design standards include the use of cast-in thin brick, an architectural mix design, reveals, and sandblasting. Beyond the architectural features that were incorporated to meet the city's stringent design guidelines, typical precast products and systems were used on the interior of the garage. One of these systems is the use of field-topped double T's. This provides a uniform and consistent field-installed concrete topping over the T's, which eliminates over 20,000 linear feet of caulking and maintenance of the double T joints. In addition, the field-topped double T system improves the user experience for a smooth ride by eliminating the caulk joint bumps every 12 feet. By including the precaster in the early schematic design process, they were able to provide valuable input to help simplify the overall structure, and the owner was able to better control the schedule and total cost. Thanks to the collaborative efforts of the design team, this precast garage was completed on time and within budget, while still meeting the high aesthetic standards of the community.
Best small parking structure up to 500 spaces, East Lookout Parking Structure, Richardson, Texas. Precast concrete by Legacy Precast, Brookshire, Texas. The owner is Grupo Haddad out of Irving, Texas. The precast concrete engineer is Span Baton, Austin, Texas. And the engineer of record is 2CMD Incorporated out of Arlington, Texas. Congratulations to our winners. Next, we take a look at parking up to 2,500 spaces.
The University of Houston Parking Garage Number 6 was built to accommodate 2,500 cars at the main university campus in Houston, Texas. Garage 6 is centrally located at the main entry to the campus and functions as the new gateway into the university, located between the Recreation and Wellness Center, dorms, and several on-campus restaurants. The 4-bay wide, 6-level parking structure utilizes nearly 1,700 pieces of precast pre-stressed concrete, more than half of which are the double Ts used to create the 633,000 square foot suspended parking deck. For early project development in 2019, the general contractor brought the precaster onto the team to design, manufacture, and install the all-precast building system. Noteworthy features of the total precast garage include architectural precast concrete finishes, a monumental stair, and canopy-covered parking. The open-air stair utilizes a spine wall and cantilevered landings to add a whole new dimension of aesthetic appeal to the facade. While canopy-covered parking at the top level of the garage is useful almost year-round in the state of Texas, it was specifically planned to be used for tailgating. By utilizing precast concrete and teaming up with the precaster early in the construction process, the contractor, architect, and engineer were able to control costs more simply and meet the aggressive schedule for installation. From breaking ground in the fall of 2019 to parking cars in July of 2020, the garage needed to be ready for guests in just 8 short months after the first piece of precast was set. The erector used a single crawler crane for the first 500 pieces. Then a second crawler was added to the site to complete the installation of the precast concrete components in less than 4 months. This pronounced gateway to the campus was delivered and erected 21 days ahead of schedule and within budget, showcasing both the rapid speed of construction and visually striking nature of precast concrete.
Best medium parking structure, University of Houston Parking Garage Number 6, Houston, Texas. Precast concrete by Legacy Precast, Brookshire, Texas. The general contractor was Vaughn Construction out of Houston. Precast concrete engineer was Unintech Consulting Engineers out of San Antonio, Texas. The architect was EYP out of Houston. The engineer of record out of Houston as well was Walter P. Moore. Please congratulate our winners. Sometimes you have to park a lot of cars. Please give your attention to our best parking up to 5,000 spaces.
The IOC and TCC parking facilities for American Airlines in Fort Worth, Texas are two similar yet distinct parking structures located less than a mile apart. Combined, these two facilities provide over 4,700 parking spaces for the American Airlines corporate campus. The IOC facility incorporated outboard columns which required a consistent architectural finish on 3 sides of the columns. Additionally, the IOC facility was laid out with 2 distinct wings skewed from one another by 34 degrees in plan. This required the fabrication of multiple skewed and wedge-shaped double Ts and other framing members for the triangular-shaped connector between the 2 wings. The TCC facility included several picture frame portals at entrances and other prominent elevations to provide depth and scale to the structure. These frames were further accentuated by using complementary architectural mixed designs and finishes to create different shades of gray that tied back to the overall aesthetic of the existing buildings on the campus. Between the 2 facilities, there are nearly 4,000 pieces of structural precast concrete used. Certain panels also incorporate buttons to replicate the look of form ties used in site cast concrete to further tie the structures into their surroundings. Each garage consists of multiple mixed designs and finishes including several meant to replicate the look of the adjacent IOC building that was constructed several years prior. The design team made great use of the many looks Precast can provide to tie old and new structures together into one cohesive campus.
Best large parking structure, American Airlines IOC and TCC parking facilities, Fort Worth, Texas. Precast concrete by Core Slab Structures, Texas, Cedar Park, Texas. The owner is American Airlines out of Fort Worth. The architect is Corrigan, Dallas, Texas. The engineer of record, LA Fuse Partners, Dallas, Texas. The general contractor was Holder Construction Company, Addison, Texas. Please congratulate our winners. A sure way to success with any precast concrete project is getting with the precaster early in the process. The precaster can help you with your structural and architectural visions. Early involvement and the collaboration it brings leads to new ideas, as demonstrated by our award for Best Parking Innovative Use.
The design team for the new Seven Oaks commercial office buildings in Austin, Texas, was tested from the very beginning when planning a new precast parking garage. Though building into hillsides is not a new technique, it does become a much more arduous task when 50,000-pound pieces of concrete are factored into the mix. The team was challenged by a steep topography, a limestone stratum just 1 to 4 feet below the surface, and a 30-foot vertical rock-cut excavation, just to provide a building pad. The project's contractor coordinated with the precaster early on to come up with a solution to build the 520-car, 2-bay, 6-level parking structure, 30 feet in the ground. After analyzing various scenarios, the team opted to build a temporary road for crane and truck access into the basement of the parking garage. This was in lieu of a much larger crane sitting outside the footprint, which would have interfered with site traffic and the tower crane being used for the nearby office building. The project utilized just over 490 pieces of precast. Architectural pieces were used for spandrels and wall panels with 2 different finishes, and gray as-cast concrete for the columns and other structural components. Typical precast products and systems, such as field-top double T's, were also used. This increases the durability of the structure while making for a smoother ride through the garage and eliminating the need for over 20,000 linear feet of caulk. A precast bridge was designed for vehicle access at the 3rd level of the parking garage. Also on the 3rd level are 2 pedestrian access walkways. The 3rd pedestrian access is located at level B2, with a tunnel connecting directly to the adjacent building. By collaborating with the precaster in the early stages of the project, the contractor was able to provide a cost-effective solution for building the precast parking garage in the side of a hill and 30 feet in the ground. Despite the challenges, precast concrete once again proves to be adaptable, practical, and resilient.
Best Parking Structure, Innovative Use, Seven Oaks Parking Structure, Austin, Texas. Precast Concrete by Legacy Precast, Brookshire, Texas. The general contractor is Harvey Cleary out of Austin. Precast Concrete engineer is Spanbaton Incorporated out of Austin, Texas. And out of Dallas, the architect is GDA Architects. Please congratulate our winners. Sometimes a parking structure is more than a parking structure. Here is our Best Multi-Use Parking Award.
The Cavender Jaguar and Land Rover dealership in San Antonio, Texas, is a 5-story, multi-bay precast concrete garage and service center. This structure encompasses 162,800 square feet of new vehicle parking, as well as a designated vehicle service area. The first-level houses parts and tire storage, make-ready shops, various support offices, and the 48-bay service area. The second floor and top level of the garage are designated for dealership parking. These floors have double T's that were designed to support a waterproofing membrane and dense foam insulation that were both sandwiched between 2 layers of concrete topping. Unlike traditional parking layouts, the vehicles in this auto dealership garage are parked end to end, 3, sometimes even 4 cars deep, since this structure services a dealership and not the general public. This clever and extremely compact layout leaves only about 10 feet of drive aisle. Also, as the use of shear walls were not permitted within the shop area, this structure was designed to incorporate external shear walls exclusively in order to allow for a more open and flexible floor plan. In total, the parking structure contains approximately 700 precast concrete components, consisting of both standard and atypical pieces. The owner, architect, engineers, and precaster worked closely together from the early stages of design. One of the challenges of this project that the team faced was to engineer a floor system that would not only support both the vehicle loading and the additional concrete topping on the second level, but also the weight of the suspended equipment used to service the vehicles below. Another challenge was to take into consideration the low profile of sports cars. Some models have a wheelbase to ground clearance as low as 4 inches. In order to keep cars from bottoming out at the top of the ramp or losing a bumper at the bottom, the double T's at the exterior ramp were set in a manner to create a curve-like effect at these locations. By including the precaster in preliminary design, the submittal and approval process was streamlined, ultimately accelerating the entire construction schedule. This project showcases the efficiency of precast concrete and its manufacturing, while also featuring an attractive business front.
Best multi-use parking structure, Cavender Jaguar, Land Rover dealership, and service center parking garage, San Antonio, Texas. Precast concrete by Manco Structures Limited, Schertz, Texas. Architect of record, Castle's Design Group, Houston. Engineer of record, Denham Engineering, College Station. General contractor, G.W. Mitchell Construction, San Antonio, Texas. Precast concrete engineer, Unintech Consulting Engineers out of San Antonio. The owner, Cavender Auto Group out of San Antonio, Texas. Please congratulate our winners. Now we take a little bit of a change in direction here. And that's an appropriate phrase, as PCMA members have been manufacturing for the transportation market since the 1950s. Many of those bridges are still in service, but sometimes a bridge needs to meet current demand and retain the historical appearance, and that takes innovation. Here is our Best Bridge Innovation Award.
The Kamal River Bridge in New Braunfels, Texas, was originally built in 1923, and like many bridges of its age, it needed significant safety improvements to remain operational. The main goal of this project was to upgrade the structural and safety aspects of the bridge while retaining its historical character. The rehabilitated bridge features new widened lanes and pedestrian-friendly sidewalks. And in keeping with the goals of the project, architecturally stylized railings were designed to complement the bridge's original design and history. The bridge is located at a popular recreational destination, so it was important to minimize river and road closure times. While the plans indicated the pier caps of the bridge would be built conventionally with cast-in-place concrete, the general contractor, precast manufacturer, and precast concrete engineer developed a proposal to replace the pier caps with precast truss-shaped spandrel frames with the intention of shortening the construction schedule and enhancing worker safety. The upgrade began by removing the existing superstructure and spandrel columns at each pier. Then the 6 precast spandrel frames were placed, and a new precast pre-stressed box beam superstructure was installed between these frames. The exterior beams have a precast overhang to avoid the need for installing and removing overhang formwork. This is believed to be the first time precast spandrel frames have been used on a project like this in the United States. Using this unprecedented construction style was not without its challenges in getting the 46-foot, 93,000-pound products into place. Despite the design challenges, the project was finished substantially ahead of schedule, allowing the area to open a full 6 months early. This bridge upgrade is an extremely innovative use of precast that has also successfully improved user experience and architecturally reflected its historic predecessor.
Best Bridge Innovation, San Antonio Street Bridge at Comal River Bridge. New Braunfels, Texas. Precast concrete by Bear Concrete Works, San Antonio. Precast concrete engineer was Majeski and Masters out of Round Rock, Texas. The general contractor, Capital Aviation out of Buda, Texas. The engineer of record was the Texas Department of Transportation, Austin, Texas. The owner is City of New Braunfels, Texas. Before I ask you to congratulate those folks, I just wanted to make a personal note on this one, as this bridge directly affects the employees of PCMA. Our office is in New Braunfels, and that bridge takes us to the post office. And it was a drag to drive around the long way. So I thank the engineer that came up with that brilliant idea and moved it along 6 months faster. That's the joy of precast concrete. Please congratulate our winners. The structural and architectural flexibility of precast concrete allows many uses. We've seen bridges, stadiums, schools, and parking. They've all been recognized this afternoon. Sometimes a building has a mix of uses, and this is our best mixed-use project.
The Realm at Castle Hills is a 9-story building that was designed to serve as one of the centerpieces of a 324-acre mixed-use development in Lewisville, Texas. The 250,000 square foot facility includes office space, restaurants, community amenities, and serves as the backdrop to a large green space for outdoor activities. The building is supported by a structural steel frame with the cladding system comprised of precast concrete, stone, and glass. Precast was selected by the architect during the design process due to speed of construction, the capacity to contribute structurally, and the ability to create the visual intrigue the architect wished to achieve. The design of the facade incorporated 3 colors of concrete, 2 different depths of acid etching, and a variety of projections. These details divide the overall scale of the building and provide a connection to the surrounding development. The cladding panels vary in depth from 7 inches to 2.5 feet, including several radius components as well as panels with multiple concrete colors in them. These changes in color and depth to the panels created some challenges for the precast team. The engineers and precaster worked together to panelize the project, allowing the fabrication team to create the panels more easily with 2 or even 3 different finished faces on a single panel. The contractor had just under 18 months to complete the project. Once the structural steel frame was complete, the precast concrete panels were quickly erected. As the panels were installed, the glazing subcontractor was able to install the glass right behind the precast. The use of precast in this coordination helped the project team overcome a tight construction schedule. Precast concrete played a pivotal role in achieving the design team's aesthetic goals for the project. The variety and versatility that precast offers in its constructability, color, finish, and profiles helped make this structure a pronounced visual focal point within its development.
Best Mixed Use Project, The Realm at Castle Hills, Louisville, Texas. Precast Concrete by Enterprise Precast Concrete Incorporated, Corsicana, Texas. Architect Boca Powell out of Dallas. The engineer of record, RLG Engineering, Dallas, Texas. The owner is Bright Realty, Louisville, Texas. PCI certified erector was Ranger Steel Erectors out of West Monroe, Louisiana. Precast specialty engineer, Infrastructure, Omaha, Nebraska. General contractor, Hill and Wilkinson General Contracting, Richardson, Texas. Please congratulate our winners. Keeping on time and moving right ahead forward, please give attention to our next award. It's for the best commercial use of precast concrete.
The SHI office at Garza Ranch is a 4-level, 250,000 square foot office building primarily clad with precast concrete and curtain walls. The building plan is laid out with 2 wings and a central lobby connecting the two, which also provides convenient access to the parking garage directly across a private drive. The main elevation of the parking garage facing the office was made using the same architectural mixed design and sandblasted finish as the precast on the office building to further tie the two structures together, achieving a consistent architectural aesthetic. The office utilized 240 pieces of architectural precast panels, including walls, spandrels, and column covers. 12 of the column covers were specifically designed and fabricated to be L-shaped. This was achieved by match casting the two faces to maintain consistent architectural finishes. These L-shaped column covers then created full column wraps at the ground level open air walkway. The parking garage consists of just under 1,000 pieces of structural precast, including nearly 500 double T's, which create over 300,000 square feet of elevated deck. The garage was designed with a prominent stair and elevator lobby to be directly across from the office building, allowing for efficient pedestrian movement between the two. The use of both architectural and structural precast concrete in the SHI office building and its adjacent garage is an elegant and simple way to clearly connect these two different structures.
Best commercial use at SHI Garza Ranch Office and Parking Garage, Austin, Texas. Precast concrete by Core Slab Structures, Texas, Cedar Park, Texas. The architect was GSC Architects out of Austin, Texas. The structural engineer is Cardno, Austin, Texas. General contractor, White Construction Company, Austin, Texas. And the owner is SHI, United States. Please congratulate our winners. Moving to our final category, healthcare. Many hospital and medical facilities utilize precast concrete for durability and resilience. Here is our best healthcare architectural.
The William P. Clements Jr. University Hospital third tower expansion is a 12-floor, 667,000 square foot expansion to an existing hospital building located at the UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas. The building features an innovative W-shaped architecture inspired by resort-style layouts. The floor plan enables a higher level of patient care, enhanced privacy and comfort, and a simplified visitor experience. The precast portion of the building is composed of 892 pieces of architectural precast wall panels and spandrels, covering nearly 88,000 square feet. All of the precast panels share the same coloration and sandblasted texture, resulting in a clean, uniform appearance. The dark colors of the curtain wall contrast against the light-colored backdrop of the precast concrete panels. These panels and curtain walls were designed in a multi-planar fashion, adding depth and character to the otherwise flat building surfaces. Another unique design feature of this project includes precast panels that have been designed to be removed and then reset. This allows for the addition or replacement of large medical equipment in the future. By maximizing the use of identical panels throughout the project, the design team was able to efficiently reuse the precast molds. Thanks to this great advantage of the precast concrete manufacturing process, impressive cost savings were achieved when compared against other construction materials.
Best Healthcare Architectural, William P. Clements Jr. University Hospital, Third Tower Edition, Dallas, Texas. Precast Concrete by Core Slab Structures, Texas, Cedar Park. The owner is the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center, Dallas, Texas. The architect of record is Callison, RTKL, Dallas, Texas. The engineer of record is Walter P. Moore, Dallas. The general contractor, Austin Commercial, Dallas, Texas. Please congratulate our winners. While it feels we've been going through this for several hours, I understand that we are right on time and doing well to keep this as concise as possible. And we certainly appreciate your attendance and your viewing this afternoon. Our final award demonstrates a lot of the attributes and benefits of precast concrete, along with a lot of the projects that we saw today doing the same thing. Please give your attention to our best overall use of precast concrete for our 2020 awards.
The design team of the Texas Health Hospital in Frisco, Texas, united to create a campus that challenges the boundaries of tradition. Not only does this project redefine healthcare architecture through healing by connecting those inside to the surrounding natural environment, it also uses cutting-edge design and digital collaboration to push innovation. Furthermore, the role of architectural precast as an elegant solution is tested and reimagined. Connection with nature can contribute to a reduction in stress, enhanced performance in staff, and improvement of overall well-being in patients. By designing a holistic healing environment using natural patterns and textures, the campus becomes reminiscent of a rugged landscape. Using custom software and computational design, the fabrication team efficiently developed a unique precast facade. The team also used the same technology to ensure the precast panels were sized within the crane's capacity and reach. Precast was selected based on a combination of cost savings, ease of installation, and an ability to clearly express the rugged landscape-inspired design. Unfortunately, precast was not originally recognized as an approved masonry material by the city planning department. After demonstrating how precast concrete could deliver a sophisticated look, it was accepted for the project. Precast offered the ability to combine the aesthetics of natural stone with abstracted erosion surfaces and patterns achieved through precast mold making. Several finished patterns are featured on the panels, including sandblasting, acid etch, natural, honed, raked, and polished to emulate different stone surfaces found in nature. In addition to the natural feel of precast as the architectural cladding, several other benefits of precast were realized. These benefits include scheduling, budgetary, and energy savings through the use of cast-in insulation, and the development of a multi-use flexible form system. The success of this project and the application of precast as the primary exterior building material may influence the acceptance of precast use on other commercial developments as a masonry option in future design standards.
Best overall use of precast, Texas Health Frisco, new bed tower and parking. Frisco, Texas. Precast concrete by Gate Precast Company, Hillsboro, Texas. The architect is HKS Incorporated, Northville, Michigan. Engineer of record, Thornton Tomasetti out of Dallas, Texas. The owner is Texas Health Resources, Arlington, Texas. Precast concrete engineer is Staler Structural Engineering, St. Paul, Minnesota. General contractor was Austin Commercial, Dallas, Texas. Please congratulate our winner. And congratulations to all of our winners today. As we close up, I want you to please consider PCMA as your resource for information and education about precast concrete. Please visit precastcma.org, where you'll find a complete list of Learn at Lunch opportunities, either in person or virtual presentations. And with that, I will turn it back for closing remarks from PCMA Marketing Chair Ruben Valadez.
Thank you, Chris. Great job. I just want to remind everybody that the purpose of this program is to recognize the design team, the architects, the engineers, the people that are involved in utilizing precast in their structures. I mean, as you saw in these videos, precast is very versatile, very well used. So congratulations to all the design teams. Congratulations to the manufacturers, the producers that put these projects together, and everybody that's been involved in the not only the design, the production and the erection of these structures. Also want to recognize our associate members that are present here. Of course, without your services and your products, none of this would be possible. Chris just reminded me that this is the 6th annual PCMA Best in Precast program, and we're going to continue to do this every single year as structures and new ideas are developed. Unfortunately, we typically have 3 times as many people in the room here. We chose to keep it virtual, keep it within the members, but hopefully next year we will invite the design team to join us as we have in the past. One other thing before we close, I want to mention to our young architects that hopefully one day your project will be showcased in our program. Thank you very much for your attendance, and y'all have a great evening. Thank you.